Hello to everyone, this is Vishal, and after a long period, I'm here with some new topics for you. And as you know, we are making sessions on both Java and Kotlin together. So today we choose the topic in Kotlin again because of animations in a Kotlin B. I think it's very interesting feature, and as we know that we want a UI with the good looks and some interacting features and giving some look and feel, we can say that, to our UI to end users. So that's very interesting topic, and this session is be not a single session because of lot of things in animations we have to learn. So it will cover in 3 or 4 sessions in a Kotlin, and we will see your the playlist. But today I'm giving the first part of this Android animation. And I'm very happy to see that this channel is good growing and lot of people learning from this channel, and their queries and um, their responses. So I'm giving thanks to all, and will give you a good tutorials in my coming sessions. So that's be a very interesting part for me. But I hang on some projects, big projects, past 2 or 3 months, so not giving too much sessions be here. So we'll start it, and some new sessions within series. So let see the Android animation. And in animations we can say this is a very vast topic, and lot of things we have to learn in Android side. So animation, we can say, what is this animation? Animation is a method in which pictures are manipulated to appear as moving images. Very simple language if we see that. That means if want to see something running, and we have a bitmaps, number of bitmaps, and I want to run that. So this simple way of to say animation. Or we want some icons be under rotating, or we want some slides, some fade in fade out. So these all be animation series part. And today we see some special some simple way of animations, and there be a lot of ways we can use the animation in Android apps. And animations can add visual cues that notify users about what's going on in your app. They are especially useful when the UI changes state, and such as when new content loads, new actions become available, and if you want to some touch on that. So lot of things will be there. That means it is, we can say, it add a polished look to your app, and so the users interactions be very interesting part on that case. So Android includes different animation APIs depending on what type of animation as we want. There are a number of animations like a bitmap, UI visibility, motions, swap views, change the views, zoom animations, and we have object animator, dynamic animations, or fling animations. That means physics kind of animation. A lot of things we have to learn in this series. And first we discuss about the basic animations, how we can do that in your XML site, and how we can put that the uh, animations on the folder, and how we can implement this is on a Kotlin. So these be a series we have to learn, and in the future we have a lot of things, but we started in Android Studio and see how we can implement some such as small animations on that. So we'll start it in Android Studio. Okay, so let us start in Android Studio, and in Android Studio we have a simple project in which I created a simple text view and the button. Okay, and we have to work with these two first, and then we go for the image view. And in your RES, first you have to create a new folder or directory that is called your name anim. And as we're doing with the Java, same. And in anim, what we have to work, with the animation resource file. So whenever you work with the animation resource files, you put it as in a fade in, whatever your name, fade in, fade out. And so here I'm working with the fade in. So in a series, first we learned simple fade in fade out features, rotations, little bit this kind of slide up, slide in, zoom in features, and then we go for the animate bitmaps today. And here I have some multiple bitmaps in which I have to make it as a runnable sequence of images. So this is your simple animation way you have to work. And in my coming sessions we have to work with animated vector drawable. So that's very easy and light because of we are working with the vectors, and there we have to run with interpolators come into the picture between animation time interval to help change the mapping of a frame to time instead. So these all be a type of interpolations. So these be all and many more things we have to work with this types. We have to learn all kind of types, and then we have to make animations on the Google map. So you will learn one by one all these series. Okay, so we have to back on here, and here we have our first fade in file. So for a fade in file, what we needed, because of when we have to work with uh, fade in and fade out, so that means we have to work with alpha. And we know in whenever we work with animations or drawing, so that's alpha is important role, and it series we are 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, how much you have to dark and why have to make it a fade in for process. So that means a lights. So that's you have to work. And here we have more important thing that is called your interpolator. But I don't want to go with this interpolation theory today. We have to work as in my coming session. Just you have to learn that how you can use this interpolation. So you can say that this is a simple and right, and many more things you have to work. Just like here I'm working with this interpolator as an XML, but you have to put it as in a dynamic. This is your anim interpolator, so easy. And here you can see that alpha, rotate, scale, set, and translate, these all we have to work. So set means you have to set your animations, which kind of animations you want as above. And here we have alpha. Whenever you work with shades, that means faded forms and rotations, then scales, and that means zooming, and then we have a translate. So these all be we have to work with this. And here at this time I'm using the alpha, and here we have a duration, and in alpha we can say Android duration, and that duration be at this time I'm taking be 1000, that's on seconds. And here and Android from alpha to I want to fade in, so that means that 0.12 um, to alpha, and I'm giving this number as 1.0 and close this. So this is your simple alpha. And how you call this in an activity? So here I have a button, and that button is your what's the name of the button? It is anim button. Okay, so anim button, put it inside anim button dot set on click listener. And in this click listener, what we want to call this. So here you can say well animation, and that animation here you can say this is your animation utils dot your load animation, and I want to load this comma r dot anim dot fade in. Okay, and whenever you work with this fade in, and you have to call this animation as in our text. So we have to check this text val be here. So you can say this is your text val dot start animation, and which animation we work? Animation. Okay, so it's easy. So let's see it on your Genymotion. What happened with this animation? Okay, so let's see what happened with it. If you by start here, you can see that is your fade in animations. You can put it on in image and any kind of your work according to the app. You can apply this. So this is very easy. And if you go with this, the second form of that is a fade out. Likewise. So what you do, you go for your new animation, and this is your fade out file. Okay, and just copy paste this. The only difference is you have to put this alpha as in the 1.0 0.1. That means you have to fade out the things. And if you do not about the what is alpha, what is delta, and this kind of stuff, you can ask to me. I will describe you in a deep. So this is a very easy. If you work with your alpha, so that means alpha, whenever we work with your HTMLs and other pages is or a Photoshop, you can work with the alpha also. That means you can give the process with the light to dark. So that's we shade, and the perfect shade is 1. So this is your second process for the fade out, and you have to work with this fade out and run this again, and you can see the difference. So this is a very easy. And if you go with your translate, so translate work when we have to move it up or sideways. So that means in a x-axis or on a y-axis. So whenever you work with your x or y, so we need translate with the duration of the delta. So that means we have to move it, slide up and slide down. So I will describe you or how we can use these things. So you can apply this on your text fields or whatever if you want to use on your app. And then we have a zoom in, zoom out. So these kind of small things we have to work. Then we go with our bitmap animations. Okay, so let's see what be the result of this. Gradle build is running. Okay, so let's see what happened with the fade out. So yeah, you can see this is your fade out. So very simple and interesting. These tips we have to work with the anim. And now we have to go with how you can up and down, slide up and slide down the things be here. So it's be also be looking good. I will show you in complete app how you can use these features, but at this time you learn and just simply see that how we can work with this. Okay, so whenever you work with your slide up, so here that means we have to work with the y-axis, and for a y-axis again you have to copy and paste, but here we have to work with the translate. Okay, and here whenever you work with the translate you need a delta. So that means which kind of delta you need, so that means it is your y delta, because of I want be slide up. So I want to slide up from 0, that means on its position to how much, if you go with the upside, so that means minus 100%, so that means complete up. So this is your also be your 2 delta, 2 y delta. Okay, so that's this is your simple translate whenever you work with your slide up. And here you have to change this be as a slide up animation. So these very interesting features you can make, that means your look and feels uh, interesting for the UI, and anybody can see that Yeah, it's amazing, and it's very good look features app in it. So you can walk like that. I will show you some more animations if you go with just like a cartoon animations. So we will discuss it in my coming sessions. So let's see what happened with this. If you go with the slide up, and the same thing you work with the slide down. So you have to start. You can see that this is your up position. So likewise, if you want to go with the down, so it will show you how much down you want that. So that's your, for that you have to work with the slide down feature. So if you want to see, I will show you, otherwise it's the same. Okay, just make a slide down file, and here just copy paste for the slide down, but here I want with from delta, and that is a negative percent be here and up to the 0 position. Okay, so we'll see. And in your activity, main activity, this is your slide down, and run this. So these four features we have learned. Then we have to go with the zoom in and zoom out. So that be a little bit zooming features. So here I want to describe the things as scaling things be here. So we need to work with scales, we need to work with the pivot, and how much scales you want that. These all be you have to learn. If you do not want these basic things, I will discuss. I will show you in my other sessions. You can put in the comments if you do not know about the scales also. Okay. So let's see what happened with the see. So these are animations. Be you can change your percent be here, and down level will be here, x-axis level be here. So a lot of stuffs we you just first basic things you have to learn, and then go with uh, other animation tips on that. Okay, now for the uh, zoom. So if you go with the zoom in, so for a zoom in, what we need it again, zoom in. Okay, okay, so here we need mm, that means whenever you work with the zooming, so that means you work with the scale, and you have to scale from max scales or y scales and pivot. So these kind of things we need it. If you do not know, you can ask me in the comments, so I will explain that, but very easy if you work with the zoom. Okay, so for this you have to fill after, so we can say that yes, this is true. And here you have to work with the scale, and in your scale we need a same Android duration equal to 1000, and here we work with from x scale, sorry, from first we go with the from yes, from x scale 1 to, I need a zoom, that means uh, from y scale also, that means both the scales on the position, on that position, and the vortex up to, it depends on how much percent you want. You can see that, or play with this kind of things, and pivot y be your 50% again, and then you have to go with your x scale up to 1.5 or 2, whatever we requirement, and to y scale this is also be your 1.5 or 2, whatever your requirement you can put it. And here This is very simple. This is your zoom in, and you have to work with this. So let's see mm, what happened with the zoom in, and the same you work with the zoom out also. Yeah, so you can see that this is your zoom. So that is your zoom out. You can apply this, just simply reverse all that. So this is a very simple you work with. And the last I will show you, that is how you can rotate the image. So this again, you have an animation file, and you have to work with the rotate. Okay, and when you work with the rotate, so same thing we need it, but here we need we work with the scale, translate, alpha, and now the last one is rotate. And here uh, the same thing we have to apply, and write duration, mm, this is 1000, and from degrees I want we start from the 0 degree, and your vortex is your 50%, so that means, and is your 50%, and then start offset, if you work with okay, so up to, if you work with the start offset be 0, because of sometimes shaping issues be there. So otherwise no need of that, you just work with and 2 degrees, and I want with a 360 rotation, and then, and here you can work with your rotate. So let's see what happened. So these kind of things you work, and I will show you how we can use the bitmap now. That means sequence of bitmap. So that's very interesting topic also. So these animations makes your apps very good and very look and feel interesting. So can anybody can interact with easily with that. So this is your animations. This you can see this is a 360 degree. Okay. So if you want be this on the center place, you can work with the image, and anything you can work with that. So these be helpful whenever you work with your Google map, and where you want with the car rotations. So these can, I will describe you how you can work in my coming sessions, perfect Google map animations on that. But today you have to work just very simple steps of animation. Now here we have to go with a very interesting animation again. So that is the sequence of bitmaps, how you can work with the sequence of the bitmaps, if we have a number of bitmaps be there. Okay, so here we have 8 images of this, and we need to work with uh, animate bitmaps. So for this we do not need to go with the anim folder. Everything should be in drawable. So you have to work with the drawable, because of here animate bitmaps. Whenever you want to animate bitmap graphics such as an icon or illustrations, you should use the drawable animations API. And sometimes you want with the some animations like a storyboard. So on that case it's very interesting and useful animations. So animations are defined statically with a drawable resource, and you can define your animations be here. So this is the first step. You can put all the cutting images in your drawable folder like this. So at this time on my drawable folder I have all the PNGs of this. One by one I put it here. Okay, and for this I want one more thing, that is a image view. Is your match parent wrap content and idb image view. So this is your image view. So we have to work with this image view. And now first you put all the cutting images be here, just like I will describe you be yeah, this is your anim folder, and these all be the cutting images first to last sequence in your drawable. So now for this you have to create, no need of this anim folder for that. You have to create the files inside your drawable, and that drawable folder I want to create a file that is the name animations. Okay, so this is your animation file, and here no need of this selectors. I'm just giving a simple animation list be here, so you can put it your animation list. Okay, just a minute. You can copy this namespace because of it is important whenever you work with the. Okay, again this is your animation list, and you copy this and say one shot drew here. So that means you have to work with the sequence in a single shot. Okay, and here we have to work with again as we doing your item, and in your item what we needed for the items, we needed for the items be like, oh sorry, don't we close it, otherwise it show me the error. Okay, so this is your item. And in item you need an Android drawable and your first drawable value, so that means you have to start your sequence from first to last. So this is your duration, I want 200, and this your close. So now that means you have to make your items be like 1 by 1 be here. So I want to copy paste all these items, 3 4 5 6 7 and 8, and at the last what we needed, we need to close this tag animation list. So that's very easy, and here you can make your name be here, you put all the name here. 6 month is missing, so I'm directly using the 7 8 9 and the last is 10. So these all sequence we have, and how you can call this this is in your activity, that is the important part, how we can work with this. So here you can see this be the sequence of items. Okay, and these all you have to put it in drawable, no need of animations, anim folder be here, only work on your drawable. You put all the images in the sequence and your animation list on this sequence, you put the sequence be here, and here you can say that you give the name to this, any name of the animation variable, and say animation drawable. So this is your animation name and animation object, and this is your animation drawable. Okay, and here just close this, no need of, and here you can make a, you can call this image image val be as your find view by id, and I want we call this image view and r dot id dot image view we have, and that means as we need a sequence of here, so say dot apply, and in this apply what we need it, we need the set background resource, that is an important, and this is your r dot drawable dot your animation, so that means in which you have to put the sequence you have to call inside your apply for, that means in your drawable. Okay, no need to make a separate calling because of we have an animation sequence we enter that, so everything should be in a drawable, and a drawable you have to call it animations. Okay, so very interesting features we have, and here mm, you can say that your tiger animation be here as in a background as animate drawable, so very interesting it is. And now on a click what we need it, that means you need to start that animation, so you can say tiger anim dot start, so we'll see what happened with this. So that is the bitmap animation. So what we have learned today, we learn simple animations under the anim folder, and you have to practice on that, and then how we can use the bitmap, that is interesting whenever you need a storyboards and you want to be the running sequences, and we'll discuss on my next sessions the animate vector drawables and some more complicated animations and all type of your interpolators, and here I'm using the linear, why we use the linear and what is that, and all kind of things we need it in your animations. Okay, so we'll see what happened with this. So you can see this is a very good animation. So all this be uh, simple stuffs whenever work, so you can make your app be interactive. We'll discuss how we can, just like if you say the setting buttons or your small icons whenever you use, you can give the rotations on that, on the center rotations on that, you just practice, and if you need any discussions you can call, you can put the commands on that. Thank you so much, and we have to wind up, and in my coming sessions I will describe you animation part 2 and 3, in which you can give the more deep knowledge on the sequences of animations. Thank you so much.